Well, first, this is not a story about homicides, robberies, and kidnappings. Salt Lake police do a good job getting to those quickly. This is about calls that aren't considered priority one. To you, though, they are still urgent. I heard Salt Lake City PD has been understaffing its patrol unit for years, and here's what I found.
And are you or anyone else in immediate danger?
In the time it took a Salt Lake City patrol officer to head to a report of a suspicious vehicle near 7th South and 5th East,
We'll have an officer go check the area.
well, I could have watched my son play a baseball game, grocery shopped, washed my car, savored a leisurely lunch, and run 2 miles. You see, that call held for 5 hours and 15 minutes before a patrol officer could get to it.
My friend and I had gotten into a car.
Belen Almada was surprised to wait an hour after a car wreck gave her friend whiplash.
Took long enough that the guy that hit us was able to leave and then come back.
In police work, violent crimes get top priority. But for safety reasons, you may want an officer right away when you see something suspicious, there's a trespasser in your front yard, or you discover something's been stolen. Well, I reviewed hundreds of these types of calls.
If you dial 911, how quickly do you think a police officer should show up?
I would say within 20 minutes.
30 minutes.
Tops?
Top, yeah.
So 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours?
No.
But now you give a criminal an hour or two, Jesus. By the time you get there, everything's cleaned out.
I've seen calls wait till tomorrow.
Michael Millard is president of the Salt Lake Police Association, which represents officers.
2 to 3 to 4 hours.
It's a long time.
But it's not necessarily unusual.
It's not unusual, no.
He explained lower priority calls do get pushed back for more urgent calls, but there simply are not enough patrol officers to keep pace.
It's call to call to call, so we don't have a lot of time.
So I asked the police department how many officers are actually assigned to patrol. Their response included supervisors and other positions. That's when I turned to my sources, who sorted it out. On a force of 408 officers, only around 125 work patrol. Now, if that sounds like a lot to you, let me boil that down. 125 officers divided among 3 shifts, days, afternoons, graveyards, 7 days a week, spread across 110 square miles of Salt Lake City. With vacation and sick leave, I documented shifts with only 15 patrol officers. There are days when the whole west side has been patrolled by only 4 officers. In one 24-hour period alone, KSL Investigators tallied 706 calls for service. Some can keep officers busy for hours, so if any are available, they have to zigzag through the city to get to the next call. It's known as the star pattern.
Which is not an effective way to patrol the city.
Chief of Police Mike Brown.
When you talked about the officers on the street, the number's about 125, 120 to 125.
Last week, Brown detailed for me how many officers usually work patrol shifts.
It's about 20 officers on a day shift, about 20 officers on an afternoon shift, 20 to 25, and maybe 18 to 20 on a graveyard shift.
We contacted similar-sized departments. Laredo, Texas assigns 63% of its officers to patrol. Glendale, Arizona, 41%. Here in Utah, Unified Police assigns 52% to patrol. But at the Salt Lake City Police Department, it's only 30%.
It's not enough. It's not enough. No, I'm telling you, it's not enough.
Now, Brown tells me that other units like bikes and motor squads assist with calls, but in the coming months, he's permanently beefing up his patrol unit.
55 officers, and a large majority of those will go to patrol. And this is a telephonic.
And in the meantime, he's filling the void
huge dividends for us
with more than 50 overtime shifts a week. He's created a phone bank where officers on light duty process hundreds of telephone calls from residents.
You know, my credit card was used at 13 different locations in Salt Lake.
Calls once handled by patrol.
Where they don't have to go call to call to call.
An officer will be dispatched as soon as possible.
Chief Brown says putting more officers in patrol will help him reach 2 goals. First, cut response times to your calls, and it'll free up officers to spend 1/3 of their shift proactively working to prevent crime when they're on patrol, which is what patrol is all about.
One more thing, the chief's only been on the job, what, a few days now?
Yep.
Technically.
Said he noticed this was a problem when he took over as interim chief last summer, and he'll continue to proactively work towards solutions.
Okay, good to see. Great report, though, Debbie.
Thanks, Deb.